Welcome to Manage Your League Training. Today we're going to go over setting some of your league options. There's two ways to get to the league options. You can go to Setup Organization League, or you can click on the little gear here on the new dashboard. So when we click on that, it'll bring us over to some of our league settings. So you can see some of your basic settings here. In most cases, these will already have been entered and you don't really need to change them. But if you do, you have your league name, your sport name, league description, league abbreviation. As you can see here, the league name, Manager League, the league description, Manager League demo site. Description will be a little bit longer. You want to keep your league name to something that obviously identifies you, but is not, a really long description of the whole league. Sport name can be anything you want to enter in here. If you're a baseball league, if you're a multi-sport, if you're a large, or a multi-sport organization, you can put that in there. Whatever you like, just something descriptive. And then league name abbreviation. You want to make sure you keep that to something real short, so that can be used in any sort of drop-downs if you're a multi-league or in a couple other places across the site. We have a couple different options in here. You can see some of these are automatically set, your company ID and league IDs and things like that. Now you're going to also have league type. So these are all things that you can enter. So if I wanted to have different league types, I could say I'm a league type of, this is a football level, or if you're a multi-league organization, you could have the head, you could have the region, you could have the sport level, you could have the divisional level. This is just kind of something descriptive to the level that you're on. Also, you have league format, which this is going to affect how this league or where this league displays in the league breakdown. So you kind of want to group everything together. If this is a home league, a recreational league, a tournament, or travel, you can group them together so that when it does its totals and it goes through all the different options, you can see that in the league breakdown. Again, this is more for a multi-organizational league. This multi-league site login, if you are a league that has one site but you have multiple leagues, you want to make sure this box is checked. This allows when a parent logs in to see information from this league on your main site. So when this is checked on your main league, you'll allow parents to log in and see the other leagues. You also want to make sure the leagues that you want the parents to be able to see are checked also. In most cases, if you have this set up, this will already be checked for you and you don't need to worry about checking this box. Then box below it, or the option below it, may be important for you. This is disable coach and parent login. This will stop anybody other than admins to be able to be logged into the public site. I know sometimes people like this when they're drafting teams or when they're creating schedules so that parents don't log in, and see things or see schedules ahead of time before all the changes are final. The other thing is you can disable coach functions. This will remove the coach menu and any functions that the coaches can see. This again might be something you want to turn on while teams are drafting. You also have the disable standings box. So if you hold control and click, you can select multiple divisions in here, and you can say I don't want these divisions statistics to show. A lot of leagues do this for younger leagues like T-ball leagues and things like that, where they don't want it to be as competitive. They just want the players to play. So you may not want the standings to show for that league. You also have some options here for standings. You can do point-based standings and then set the points that you like. If you set this to no, your standings will be calculated on win percentage. So let's see what we have here. You have things like forfeits and losses. So if you decide to forfeit a game, that includes in the loss totals or loss points. You also include double forfeits and losses. You can calculate point differential. A couple other settings here. Again, most of these will already have been set for you. You've been using them for a long time. But if you need to make adjustments, they are in here. So if you look in here, you'll have your active season and your secondary active season. So this is where you would set your season. So for active season, you would always want this to be the season that is either currently running, if it's the only season running, or at least it's the season that is currently registering. So if you have, let's say, your fall season, your fall 2015 season is finishing up. but now you're going to register for your spring season. You would set your secondary active season to the season that is coming to a close, finishing up in its playoffs, and you would set your active season to the registration season. This will allow both seasons to run at the same time. It'll allow the schedules to show for one and the registration to show up on the site for the other. So make sure you change those two options. You also have the season editor here, which we went over in another video, to edit and change and adjust your seasons. Anytime you make any changes on this page, you always want to click Save Changes, and those will save the changes here. So now if we go over to the Contact tab, you can see we have things like street address, city, state, zip, email, web address, and phone. This is just basic contact information for your league. The street, city, zip, and state will show up at the bottom of your emails. We do this on purpose. This is to stop any spam blockers from thinking that you're sending out spam emails to all the people in your league. When a spam blocker sees an address, a phone number, an email address at the bottom of an email, it tends to allow those emails through and notice that those are not spam. But what you'll see here is email address. Email address is very important. You want to make sure for your league you set this to the main email address that you want this to go to. If you happen to turn on registration confirmation emails to the admin, they will go to this address. Also, this address will pre-fill in to the from field of the emailer. So this has got to be a main address that is associated to your league that someone obviously has access to in case any emails do come back to it. Then you have the phone number here and the web address. You can place those in for you if you like as well. Now you have admin here. This has a couple more of our options. So there's a couple options here which you can change in the registration wizard, or the registration setup wizard. You have school required, grade required. What you can do here is you can actually go to the school list editor and you can add schools in. So all you have to do is type in a school here. Whatever schools are in your area, you can type in here, and once you click add, it'll add it to this list. Now that there's an item in the school list, the school option will turn from a text box where they can type in any school to a drop down where they can only choose schools in this list. So you can put all these schools in here. You can move them up, move them down. You can remove schools if schools fall out of your network or your league, and then you can just save that. And now all your schools will be in there. You can also clone schools from another league. So if you've already entered schools in another league, you can just clone those over. What you have here is your criteria. So basically your criteria would be age or grade. So if your divisions are age-based, you would use age. If your divisions are grade-based, you would use grade. Gender is obviously whatever gender your league is. If you do both male and female, if you only have, it's a boys league, you can have a girls league, a softball league, but that would change or only allow those genders into or through registration. You also have the start and end. This would be the minimum age of your league and the maximum age, or the minimum grade and the maximum grade. For grade, 0 would be kindergarten. You can actually do -1 as well for pre-K. So this can be -1 if your criteria is set to grade. You also have the cutoff month here. So you have the cutoff month May, or cutoff month girls, May, June. You can choose whatever one you want here. Use the calendar year, so whatever year you're in, or you could use the previous calendar year. Make sure you test these and adjust these. It's also going to depend on your season. So if you're registering in 2014, but you're trying to talk about next season, you may want to say use cutoff month of next year. Or if you started your registration late and you need the cutoff of last year, you may want to use the cutoff of previous year. You can turn on and off the displaying of league standings. You can turn on and off the forgot user ID process. Most of these will stay on, and you will never need to change them. There's some other options like showing full schedules. There's options about allowing coaches to enter scores and statistics. That's up to you. You have different head coach survey links. You have a blackout registration option, which is the same as that toggle switch that's on the dashboard now to turn on and off registration. It's the same option here. Blacking out will actually just turn off registration in the case of emergencies. Couple more options here. Most importantly, you have allow players to view and pay unpaid fees on the My Home page. When you have this option on, what it'll do is if the parent owes any money from registration, it'll pop up an alert when they log in that says the balance due $110 for a manager league. Or if you have a payment plan, it'll say this amount is due on or this amount is past due. What they can do then is they can click on that alert and it'll allow them to enter their credit card information and pay that amount. So this way you may not have to chase down any overdue amounts or any unpaid amounts. Also have the same option for team fees. You have disable league here. I would never check this option. Once you check this option, this is going to basically remove the league. When you check it and save, you won't be able to find the league in the league drop down again. So this is only if you'll never need this league again. If you accidentally check this and click save, please contact web support at Manage Your League and we can get that reestablished for you. So we have a couple other things here, like which number to use for text messaging in registration. You can enable birth certificate eligibility document fields, residency eligibility documents, and then you have down here ignore disabled divisions. There's a couple different options that you can mess with here, but most of these options will be set for you in the beginning and you don't need to change them. Just those couple that I've gone over are kind of important for you. We have this CC Insurance tab. This is where if you want to save any of your policy numbers for your league, you can save them in here, as well as edit your credit card types. If you decide to choose Discover, make sure that you do have Discover enabled for your authorized.net account. That is something that you would have to set up with authorized.net. So do not enable Discover unless you have it set up. The other option here is some interface options. We have some navigation menu colors. Those will change some colors in and out in the admin site, and there's nothing really that affects the public site. Here's your league logo. So if you want to update your new logo, you can update it here. You will have to change any logos on the public site as well. This is just primarily for your Manage Your League admin site, and as well as any logo images that might be going out in any emails and things like that. So then you have the league banner. So this is your admin banner. You can change this as well if you want to add a new admin banner to give a nice fresh look. You also have the registration banner in here. You can upload and change, or you can go to previously upload. If you switch between season and season, you can update your registration banner here. This background image for league pages, that's kind of been removed with a new web editor, so you don't need to worry about this option. But this is a new option here. You can use an admin background image. You can check that and then add a background image. Right here we have soccer.jpg. What that does, it just styles up your admin page a little bit. So you can see we have this soccer image in the background here to use for our admin pages. Once you're done with any changes, make sure you click Save Changes, and all those changes will go into effect. That's it for the league options. Please stay tuned for more videos, and thank you for using Manage Your League.